Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're delving into a complex and intriguing case involving Julia Simmons, Stephen Nicholas, and Rhonda, Julia's daughter. Set in the picturesque outskirts of Portland, Oregon, this story takes some unexpected twists and turns. It all starts when Julia moves in with Stephen, a divorced day trader, after meeting him online. Julia finds Stephen charming and pleasant, but little does she know, Stephen's attention soon turns to her daughter, Rhonda. Despite the age gap, Stephen becomes infatuated with Rhonda, drawn to her beauty and vibrant personality. But before long, they're dating and eventually decide to move in together. As their relationship deepens, Stephen forms close bonds with Rhonda's family, particularly her younger sisters Melanie and Tessa. Years pass and Stephen and Rhonda build a life together, even welcoming a baby into the world. While Rhonda revels in motherhood, she can't shake the desire to revive her modeling career. Despite Stephen's promises of marriage, Rhonda holds out hope for their future. But as we'll soon discover, not everything is as it seems. Join me as we unravel the complexities of this case and uncover the truth behind Rhonda's aspirations and the dynamics within this unconventional family. According to Stephen, after Rhonda had their daughter, she was the heaviest she'd ever been. Stephen claimed Rhonda felt disgusting. He said they made a commitment to hike the 25 best trails in Oregon together in an attempt to lose weight after the birth of their daughter. Stephen expressed that things were going well in his and Rhonda's relationship, and they rarely argued. He believed that they had become stronger than ever before. However, a different story was told by Rhonda's friends. They revealed that Rhonda had confided in them about Stephen's abusive behavior. Rhonda had once taken pictures of her back using a mirror to document bruises caused by a fight with Stephen. On March 16, 2009, Stephen and Rhonda, who was 23, went on a hike on the Eagle Creek Trail. As the couple made their way down the trail, Rhonda captured a photo of Stephen using her cell phone. Before leaving for their hike, Rhonda jokingly texted her mother, "He's either gonna give me a ring or throw me off a cliff." Well, the weather was beautiful as they continued their walk. However, Stephen later claimed that Rhonda started to behave strangely. According to Stephen, Rhonda asked him what would happen if anything ever happened to her and if he would take care of their daughter. He said, of course. As the weather began to worsen, Stephen informed Rhonda that it was time to head home. Instead of turning back, Stephen claimed that Rhonda wrapped a towel around her shoulders, declared herself Supergirl, and started to run down the narrow, slippery pathway. Stephen claimed that he witnessed Rhonda slip and fall over the side of the Eagle Creek Trail, approximately 150 feet. After Rhonda fell off the Eagle Creek Trail, Stephen claimed that he hiked down to the ravine in which she'd landed because he couldn't get cell service and held her body. He tried to call 911 but had no service, leaving him no choice but to leave her behind. According to Stephen, he walked to the trailhead where he finally managed to contact emergency services. Later that day, rescue workers removed Rhonda's body. According to Rhonda's family, Stephen showed no emotion during her memorial service. Stephen claims the exact opposite is true and said he was crying non-stop, and when he gets really sad, he shuts people out and wants to be alone. Shortly after Rhonda died, Stephen packed up his and their daughter's things and moved to the other side of Oregon with his daughter to live near his family. This move left Rhonda's family feeling suspicious. Rhonda's family wondered what had happened between the two of them during the moments leading up to Rhonda's death. In 2006, Stephen made a decision to relocate. From the United States to China. This decision marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life with his young daughter in tow. Stephen decided to settle in Wuwei, a city located approximately 75 miles outside of Shanghai. Stephen had lived in China during his first marriage and developed a love for the country and its people. While living in China, Stephen was hired to teach English to Chinese business people. His daughter Rhonda was adjusting to life in China quickly. Within 2 months of moving there, she'd become fluent in Mandarin. Both Stephen and his daughter were thriving during their time in China. Stephen met and fell in love with a woman named Landy Yin Lan. Landy and his daughter formed a strong bond, with Landy taking on the role of a mother figure. Stephen appreciated how Landy had stepped in and embraced the role of a parental figure to his daughter. After 1 year of dating, Stephen decided to take his relationship to the next level by asking Landy to marry him. To his delight, she said yes. In February 2015, Stephen and his daughter flew back to the United States, where the couple planned to marry. They decided to have 2 ceremonies, one in America and one in China, to accommodate both of their families and friends. Stephen and his daughter arrived in the United States 1 day before his fiancée. As they got off the plane in San Francisco to catch their connecting flight to Oregon, an officer approached Stephen and informed him they needed to detain him because there was something wrong with his bag. Little did he know that this encounter would set off a chain of events that would change his life forever. Minutes later, the police arrived and separated Stephen from his daughter. Unbeknownst to him, the entire time he'd been living in China, detectives had been working diligently on his girlfriend Rhonda's death investigation. Suspicious circumstances surrounding Rhonda's fall from Eagle Creek prompted them to keep the inquiry going, and they eventually came to the conclusion that Stephen was the one who was responsible for her death. Rhonda's mother had been instrumental in keeping the investigation open. She reached out to the detectives all the time, asking for updates. The police arrested Stephen at the airport for Rhonda's murder and extradited him to Oregon. After Stephen was arrested, he claimed that he thought he was dreaming. Stephen hoped he would open his eyes and find himself in China with Landy by his side. However, this was no nightmare. This was real life. Stephen's bail was initially set at $2 million. He spent the next 14 months behind bars awaiting his trial. The judge reduced Stephen's bail to $250,000 and his attorney secured the bond. Then Stephen was released with an ankle monitor. When Rhonda's family found out Stephen had been arrested for her murder, they were overjoyed at the news, knowing that justice was finally being served. Rhonda's mother in particular could not contain her emotions as she heard the news and burst into tears. The arrest of Stephen brought a sense of relief and solace to Rhonda's loved ones who had been mourning her loss for years. After Stephen's arrest, his attorney took his investigative team to the Eagle Creek Trail where Rhonda fell to her death. They wanted to conduct experiments to prove to the court that Rhonda slipped in an accident and was not pushed by Stephen. Stephen's defense attorney said the Eagle Creek Trail is one of the most hiked areas in the Columbia River Gorge because of the beauty of the area. During one of Stephen's preliminary hearings, the medical examiner who performed Rhonda's autopsy after her fall from Eagle Creek determined Rhonda's injuries were all below her waist. This discovery was pivotal to Stephen's defense strategy, as it provided them with an opportunity to argue that Rhonda had taken her own life. Stephen later claimed that Rhonda was depressed and attempted to take her life multiple times before they ever met. Rhonda's family denied these allegations and accused Stephen of lying. Her loved ones claimed Stephen was blaming Rhonda for taking her life to get the attention off of him because he murdered her. According to Stephen, Rhonda also struggled with substance abuse since the age of 12. He alleged that she tried various drugs and had experimented with a wide range of substances. However, the medical examiner's report revealed only the presence of slight traces of marijuana and the prescription medication for anxiety and depression that Rhonda was taking due to struggles with postpartum. Disturbing evidence emerged during the preliminary hearings in Rhonda's murder, shedding light on the involvement of Stephen. It was revealed that Stephen had been involved in a romantic relationship with Rhonda's 16-year-old sister, Melanie. This revelation raised eyebrows as Stephen was in his 30s while Melanie was still a minor. The state presented the court with the argument that Stephen's inappropriate relationship with Melanie could potentially be a motive for murdering Rhonda. Rhonda had become aware of her husband's actions behind her back, leading to tensions and a possible motive to kill her. After Stephen was arrested for Rhonda's murder, he was indicted on 2 counts of third-degree sexual assault and 3 counts of third-degree sodomy regarding his relationship with Melanie Casto, his girlfriend Rhonda's sister. While awaiting trial for Rhonda's murder in 2005, Stephen pleaded guilty to 2 counts of sexual abuse. The statement signed by Stephen read, "I had sexual intercourse with Melanie Casto twice." However, Stephen claimed that he was coerced into admitting the sexual abuse and that his admission was untrue. Although the state believed he had murdered her, they knew the case against him was weak due to the lack of physical evidence proving he'd pushed her from the trail at Eagle Creek. Stephen was given credit for the time he served while awaiting trial. However, he had to remain on parole for 3 years. Stephen had his ankle monitor removed and was released from custody. Rhonda's family and friends felt that Stephen taking a plea deal was not justice. They felt that he should have faced harsher consequences for his actions. During Stephen's sentencing hearing, Rhonda's sister made an impact statement expressing her anger and frustration toward him, stating that he destroyed her whole family and caused immense pain and sorrow. In conclusion, the story of Stephen and Rhonda's tumultuous relationship, marred by allegations of abuse, infidelity, and ultimately murder, is a tragic tale that has left a lasting impact on all those involved. Despite Stephen's claims of innocence and his attempts to shift blame onto others, the evidence presented during the investigation and subsequent trial painted a damning picture of his involvement in Rhonda's death. The legal proceedings, marked by twists and turns, shed light on the complexities of seeking justice in cases where the truth may be obscured by conflicting narratives and hidden motives. While Stephen's plea deal may have spared him from a potentially harsher sentence, It failed to provide closure for Rhonda's grieving loved ones, who continue to grapple with the loss of a beloved daughter, sister, and mother. As the legal battles come to a close and life moves forward for those left behind, the memory of Rhonda and the quest for accountability serve as a reminder of the importance of seeking truth and justice, even in the face of adversity. Though the wounds may never fully heal, may Rhonda's memory be honored, and may her loved ones find solace in the pursuit of justice and the cherished memories they hold dear. Subscribe for more chilling cases.